So you perform regularly and you have to put set lists together all the time. But there's a lot of opinions out there in the music community about whether or not you should be performing cover tunes or original music. Well, in this video, I'm going to break that question down and tell you the truth about it. So let's get to it. Hey, and welcome to Music Space, where we help working musicians just like you learn how to quickly and easily make a living with your craft. So if you're new here to the channel, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you'll be notified when new videos are uploaded. So this video is going to be a little different than my normal videos in that it's going to be less formal. And it's simply because I want to have a conversation with you. There's been a lot of talk and debate in the music community recently about performing cover tunes versus performing your original music. And there are some strong opinions on each side of that coin. So to talk about it, let's first define what we mean by cover tunes and original music. And this is important because it can be confusing to some people because, in actuality, every song that was ever written was at some point an original song. Now, right before we jump into talking about that, I want to let you know that my new course called Marketing for Musicians is now available. It's a course that I taught live online, and it has some powerful strategies and techniques to teach you how to market yourself and your band and your musicianship to get more gigs and make more sales with your music. It's must-have information if you want to succeed in today's music industry. And you can get more information about it from the link in the description of this video. So generally, when we're talking about cover tunes and cover songs, we're talking about songs that have been written and performed and made popular by someone else other than ourselves. And when we're talking about original songs and original music, we're talking about songs that you've written that hasn't, gained any sort of wide appeal as of yet. So now, one of the things you should really understand when we're discussing whether or not you should do original music or cover tunes is understanding what you're doing when you're performing. What you're doing when you're performing is you're trying to capture and hold the attention of an audience to move them in some way, whether that be to make them cry or smile or just make them dance. So the question becomes, how can we best do that? Like, what are the best ways to do this overall? Now, granted, all audiences are different, and there are going to be audiences that show up for different reasons at different times. But generally speaking, this is the case that what we're trying to do is entertain, and we're trying to figure out how best to do that. Now, with this in mind, there's a really hard, difficult truth that we artists, bands, and musicians need to accept, and it's this: no one cares about your original music. I'm sorry, they just don't. No one cares about your original music. It doesn't matter how great you think your song is. It doesn't matter how inspired you were when you composed it or wrote it. Nobody really cares about it. And the thing is, you shouldn't take this personally. It's just the way that things are. Like, really, how often do you go searching for music from artists that you've never heard of before? Probably not often, if at all, huh? And you're a musician. You're the person that's probably most likely to do something like that. So how often do you think regular people, like normal people who show up in audiences that we play for, how often do you think they do that? And even more than that, it's actually the same with popular signed artists. In most cases, it takes you hearing one of their songs multiple times before it starts to move you, or before you start to like it, or before you start to care about it. So it takes a while for anyone's original music to, go over well with people. Now, when you're performing a public event, be it a bar or club or wedding reception or whatever, chances are that people are there for a reason. They're there to have a good time. And there are certain songs and music that people have associated with having a good time. And chances are it's probably not your original music. This is why certain songs have become, like standard at parties and events. I'm sure you could name a minimum of 2 or 3 songs that, are just party songs that are going to get people up and dancing when they're performed. So it's very unlikely that you're going to achieve the objective of holding the audience's attention and entertaining them with your original music. Now, before you hear me wrong, I am not talking against you doing your original music. It's your band, it's your music, and it's your life. So you can do whatever your heart desires. However, the purpose of this channel is to help working musicians make more money. You hear me say that in the intro of these videos all the time. And typically the bands and artists and musicians who play these types of events that I just named don't make their money from performing original music. This is why in those cases, it's usually best to perform cover tunes. And the thing is, you can figure out how to sprinkle an original song or two among the cover tunes that you do, even do them as mashups, like one of your original songs mashed up with a cover tune. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to always be 100% of cover tunes and no original music or something like that. Now, if your thing is performing your original music, or you want to strictly perform original music, there are lots of ways that you can do that and be successful. One way you can do this is start doing your own online concerts and performances. This is an extremely untapped market by musicians right now, and there's a lot of money to be made in it. And this is something that I'm going to be talking and teaching in one of the live trainings that I'm doing coming up. So keep your eye open for that. But there are plenty of ways to, if you want to strictly be an original music artist, that you can do that. And a lot of them involve simply, creating your own opportunities and performances. But if you're mainly performing in sort of the typical working musician areas like, bars, clubs, wedding receptions, corporate parties, casinos, cruise ships, and things like that, you're probably better off doing cover tunes. I mean, cover tunes just simply have the benefit of being familiar, and you already kind of know, or you can know, if these songs are going to go across well or not. And that's something that you don't have and you don't know with your original music. So this whole debate about, original music versus, cover tunes really all comes down to, what you want to do as an artist or a band, and it comes down to the types of events that you mainly perform. And in whatever case you choose, it doesn't necessarily have to always be 100% one or the other. It can be ways that these things can be blended. You just have to figure out how to do them strategically and make them work for you. But the question is for you. What is your opinion about performing cover tunes versus performing original music? Do you think bands and musicians and artists should be performing more original music, or do you think they should mainly stick to cover tunes? Did you think one way before you watched this video and maybe this video changed your mind? Jump down in the comments and let me know. I definitely want to dialogue with you about that. And listen, thanks so much for watching this video. I really do hope that it was helpful for you. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button on this video. And here are some other videos that you can check out right now.